Teenage.
The tribe has spoken.
I know that you were really upset about me falling asleep that day for some reason.
Hello, Asia.
Welcome.
Welcome back to yours truly. How are you today, Asia?
I'm good.
Love it.
I'm good.
Love to hear it.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. You know,
Good.
chilling out. We're here again today to talk more in detail.
I'm sure you've heard of it by now. Hopefully you've watched some of it by now.
Hopefully you watched all
The
of
whole
it
thing.
by
If you
now.
haven't.
It's only 8 episodes.
I know.
What are you doing if you haven't?
That's one evening.
That was a day for
if
me.
you want it to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Of the Secret Lives.
Of Mormon wives.
Amazing. Absolutely wonderful. So we talked about episodes 1 and 2 last week.
Pretty in depth.
We did.
We gave you the backstory.
Mm-hmm. Gave you all
Everything
the details you needed.
Yeah.
To know about any sort of history within the group.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go over 3, 4, and 5 today.
Mm-hmm.
So episode 3 starts with kind of the division, I feel like, officially of the groups between sinners and saints.
Yeah. I think the title is something about sinners and saints.
I do believe it is. Because
Yeah.
then you have the 4 girls who are saints.
Yeah, self-proclaimed.
Yeah,
like
self-proclaimed saints.
They think like they're the better
They're better.
Mormons. they're not the rule breakers.
Mm-hmm.
They're just holier than thou type of a vibe. There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. It's, do you remember? You want me to say
Whitney,
it? Whitney for sure.
Jen, Macy,
Yeah.
the young one.
Yeah. Michaela. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the 4. And then the 4 sinners who the saints have proclaimed them as the sinners, basically.
I don't think that one's
I don't think they chose
self-proclaimed.
that.
Yeah.
Is Taylor, Demi, Jesse, and Layla.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of threw Layla under the bus a bit. I feel like Layla was showing nothing
Yeah, I don't know why.
besides the fact I think she was
She's divorced.
Which
And
is...
I know it is, but coming from the saints, I think they wouldn't say they look down on that, but
Yeah,
they do.
They do.
100% do.
100%. And
So those 4, they're the ones who like drink. They are 2 of them are no, I think multiple.
all four of them are divorced.
Yeah, they're on like different marriages, and so yeah, it's very clear divide in the group.
Clear divide. I think these 3 episodes are so funny because the hypocrisy in these 3 to me was even more through the roof.
Yeah.
Because I believe it started with Jen's husband's grad party for finishing school at BYU.
Yeah.
And they were having a party at his parents' house. And Jessie and her husband were a little weird to me.
yeah.
I think that was weird. Where they were like, they were all in the hot tub and they brought out the flask.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was unnecessary.
It was. And I think,
like,
though, I kind of understood it initially, kind of like an irritation, because it was like at the parents' house, they're very against out. So, like, it's just to be, I don't care that they like were drinking, but to be respectful of whose house you're at and like
100%.
the rules that they kind of go by. And I think they were just doing it just to be annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was kind of annoying. But yeah, it caused like a clear
anger upset that then trickled down and kind of ricocheted to then Jen also was having her baby blessing for their little boy, and uninvited basically the sinners of the group.
Yeah.
And that was just altogether really awkward because they showed footage of her inviting them.
No, literally, it's so awkward because a lot of reality shows like this, it happens where there's like multiple events and like certain people are invited, certain people aren't, and that just stirs up the drama. So, but this one was, I just love. This is not Bravo, but this was Bravo-esque where she's like, well, I didn't think I actually like gave you guys like day and location, and then it cuts to her like literally saying, oh, it's on this day,
mark it in your calendars.
And so you just catch people lying.
So ridiculous. And then she had told, I think what Jen did that made it even worse was she went and got Botox done with Macy, Michaela, and Whitney. Was Whitney there?
I think she was.
I think so. I think it was the sinner or the saints of the group. Which also, side note, the fact that they were like, yeah, we love to get Botox done. Honestly, like, we don't know if we're getting Botox done because we want to get high.
Oh my God, the
or
laughing gas.
we want Botox. And I'm like, this is just so funny to me. So hypocritical. And they're like, yeah, we'll totally do it. And then she told all of those girls that the other 4 were not invited to the Luca's baby blessing.
Yeah.
Before she had told the 4 girls,
But they
the
won't.
sinners, that they couldn't come.
Yeah.
So then they're still planning on it. Cut to then her getting her hair done. She's like, I gotta find a dress to wear. And the other girl was like, oh, like, I don't think you're invited.
Which just makes it so awkward to like make other people do your dirty work.
Yeah,
Kind
ridiculous.
Like, no.
And so then they called Jen and they were like, hey.
I kind of love that. Like,
I
if
did
you,
too, absolutely.
If you like hear something, I'm just go straight to the source.
Precisely.
Call
unexpected too. She was obviously caught off guard when she answered the phone.
She just called her up and was like, hey, am I invited to this or not? Because you definitely told me the day and time.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, like, I don't really think I did. And like,
And
we
then-
wanted to be like.
And then she blames it on her husband.
Yeah, she does.
Blames
She
the
absolutely blew it.
uninvites on her husband. She's
Absolutely.
like, oh, it's really just Zach's decision.
Yeah, threw Zach under the bus, but also hate Zach.
He
so
sucks.
absolutely don't care.
He sucks.
I think he was really mad about the drinking at his parents' house, which rightfully so. I think I would be like really stressed out if my parents were super against it.
Yeah.
But to uninvite them and make it seem like the whole reason we weren't inviting you is because you're just like not like Mormon enough.
Yeah.
Definitely would put
And to blame it on
a foul taste.
you blame it on one, like blame it on the alcohol thing, then that it just like puts you in a position that you're gonna be a hypocrite because you're gonna like the other people drink at different points too. So I'm like, it just continues to like cross because you're gonna uninvite someone for drinking alcohol and then you're gonna be drinking alcohol later and then it's just dumb.
I think if you're gonna stand on your hill, you need to be prepared to die on it.
You gotta die on the hill.
You gotta die on it. You need to be consistent.
If you're gonna put up such a fit about one thing, you gotta live that through and through.
Exactly. So yeah, they're drinking in the hot tub, but you're also getting high at your doctor's office. I just think you can't turn around and say anything then.
Yeah.
Which I think it was interesting during that 3-run episode. They really honed in on the 4 saints, but then by the end of the whole show, Macy and Michaela are like
they're kind of you
wipe
kind
their
of
hands with
you
that.
kind
They
of
were like,
watch Macy
absolutely not.
like turn to the other side and Michaela. Yeah.
And honestly, neither of them really said much of anything throughout the whole 3 episodes where that was a big plot line, because I still do like Macy and Michaela.
I do too.
I was going to ask you if you've heard this, because now that Asia, I would say you don't have TikTok.
Nope.
And so
I won't.
I think it's good for you, honestly. I'm far too into this niche of TikTok.
I just
now.
feel like I can't now. Like, how lame would that be? Like, I can't do it now because then I'm just.
I agree.
I gotta die on this hill.
You do. You have to die on it.
I will.
And like the time it would take for your algorithm to get you into what you need to see would be like crazy. So I'm on like so much of the Secret Lives and Mormon Wives TikTok. It's crazy. I found out this last week, and it did kind of alter my opinion on some of the girls.
Oh.
Demi, I love Demi. I am Demi's #1 fan.
I like Demi.
If there are no fans of Demi, I'm dead. That's how I feel about Demi. She's my #1 fave of everybody on the show.
Is she the one who's married to the older guy?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I love her. My opinion on her did not change, but the man she's now married is ex-husbands with Angie's on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
No.
Yeah, that's Angie's Sunglasses.
Oh my
housewife
gosh.
ex-husband. And I was like, what are the odds? I'm like, these people are crazy.
She's crazy.
Angie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Angie's
She's
nuts. But
I kind of love it though.
I love Demi. Demi is my #1 by far.
Yeah.
And then this did make me like Jessie less. She is now married to her ex-husband's best friend.
Oh, no, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look. No, I don't.
She says she didn't cheat, but it's not a great look.
Jesse was always in the middle for me.
Yeah.
I liked Demi. I like Macy.
Yeah.
And Michaela.
You want to know something that made me like Macy even more?
What?
She was pregnant and like married with, I think she only has one kid. Maybe she doesn't, but she was pregnant and married, and her husband died.
Oh.
And so her now husband married
so
her as
sad.
like a single mom. And I was like, ugh, it just made me like her more. Like, good for her.
Well, she
Way
like
to fight.
we'll get into it, but like she
back
has
up.
like that whole foundation. Like she's like doing, it's like something for
Oh yeah,
moms and
yes,
it's like supporting each other and
yes,
like
and
it's
so-
something more than like influencing.
Yes, I agree. I liked Macy more, and then I really loved Demi.
Yeah.
But Whitney just goes to show again in this episode that she's the worst, and she really leans into it. She is. The bummer is that those 4 saints lean so much into the mean girl clickiness of it all that it looks really bad on them.
It does.
And so when they were getting Botox and laughing and making fun of the other 4 girls, when they then went to Demi's Valentine's Day party, I thought that was like, I got so mad watching
that was like peak like mean girl. Like so basically what happens is Demi's hosting this like Galentine's party, and do you bring gifts to those? Because like there were multiple gifts there, and I was like, who are the gifts for?
I feel like as maybe you get older, or like on TV, when people host an event, you're supposed to like get them something.
I
wouldn't.
I had like a housewarming thing, but yeah, I was thrown off because they didn't like bring any attention to it except this one present. But she did. There was a room full of gifts, and I was like, wait, who are the gifts for? But Whitney thinks it's so funny. Like her and her gal pals are getting ready before the party and laughing and making fun of this story that Demi had told them. That's like explicit and was only supposed to be for those ears. But Whitney's like, ha ha ha, this is so crazy. Let me tell you guys a story. And then classic like secret, like whisper, for they don't tell it to the camera, but then makes this gift that it's like it's supposed to be an inside joke that references this like explicit story, gives it to Demi in front of everybody. So it just is like so awkward. And then Demi gets like upset, and then Whitney has the audacity to get upset that Demi's upset. And I'm like, this is so dumb. I think she was embarrassed.
As she should have been.
She was embarrassed that it didn't go over well, and they were mad at her, and she was like, I'm embarrassed. I'm just going to play the victim.
Yeah. I think
that's the vibe I got.
The way it was so staged was crazy.
Yeah.
Like Demi had told this story like with her gal pals on a trip.
Yeah.
And was like, promised I would never tell this story. So she told all of them. And that was like before filming ever started.
Yeah.
So for
like
Whitney
it wasn't on camera
to be like, oh, that story, and like bring it all up on TV.
Yeah.
And then give her this gift. I think Demi wouldn't have been as mad except for the fact that they were filming. And then she's like, I now then for sure have to tell my husband that I told all of these women this story, and now it's on TV. Yeah. Like it just brought up a whole thing, and it was just rude. Yeah. Especially because we didn't even hear the story.
No, and that's the thing.
So that was like,
that's the thing about Whitney is so annoying. Is like she loves this like to be exclusive and like have secrets, and like she wants to bring it up in front of everyone, but then only like whisper it to one person, and it pisses me off.
During the time that she was making the gift, I wanted Michaela. I was like, Michaela, girl.
Yeah, I could tell she was
uncomfortable.
Not
and I was
about
like,
it.
Say something. I was like rooting so bad for her to do it.
And Macy too. Both of them were not like, oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Yeah.
They just kind of were like,
do we think this is a good idea?
And yeah, Whitney just thought she was so funny, and then when it was shot down, I think she was blatantly just embarrassed, and then turned it into the victim mentality. And
I think it's crazy because she has shown time and time again that she can be completely mean to people.
Yeah.
Like flat out. And then as soon as they're mean back, she is like shocked. She is like genuinely like taken aback.
Yeah. Cannot
fathom it.
Cannot take it.
She's like, I cannot believe you would ever do that to me. Like, I am so upset. And so the fact that, she reacted at Demi's party, like crying, sitting in a corner.
So
she's like,
dramatic.
I just can't believe you made me feel so stupid and like made me look like an idiot like that. And I'm like, Of course I did. You were literally
You did
making fun of me.
Literally, did
I would
the
do
same
anything
thing
to make
me.
you feel bad at this point.
I
Like,
should
I
be.
just can't compute.
Demi's
why
like,
she's
I'm the
shocked.
one that's embarrassed. What the heck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I just like can't understand why she's shocked every time.
No.
She's just like, I'm like, did you think I would just sit there and take it? Like, you were rude. And so it's just appalling to me
Yeah.
every single time. And so, yeah, all of episode 4, it's just so messy. And it's like the 4 against 4. And I think it's stupid, to be honest,
Yeah.
because it does kind of self-destruct in like one
Yeah.
more episode.
Yeah.
And so
The 4v4 does not last long.
no, it doesn't. It never does.
Because another thing I do appreciate about like Michaela and Macy is like they don't just stand behind Whitney because like they're just part of the clique. Like they
Yeah.
weren't behind the gift, they weren't behind a few other things, and then they start getting mad too,
Yeah.
and then kind of joining the other side, and
Yeah.
Whitney becomes the clear
So
villain.
then it ends on this really awkward note, and then they go on that birthday trip with for Macy's birthday.
Oh my gosh,
And
we love a girls trip.
I love a girls trip. Anytime there's a girls trip, I'm sitting down,
yeah.
seatbelted in, like so beyond ready for the drama and the lore. I love it. And it started out like okay,
Yeah.
but got weird pretty quick.
And Taylor all on this. Taylor's on this too.
Taylor
right?
too. Oh, poor girl. She's
I
so
know.
pregnant. She's pregnant. I
She's
feel
so
bad
pregnant.
for her.
She's like, I just don't want to be stressed out.
I
and,
feel
like,
so bad.
She's really like, it's just I've seen so many things like after the show has come out that it's so clear kind of towards the beginning who everyone thinks like the villain's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then it just
It's
changes.
not.
And like Taylor's not the villain.
Taylor?
She's not the villain at
No.
all.
Taylor's getting a paycheck because quite literally no one would have watched the show if she wasn't on it.
Taylor
Like, they
is
weren't gonna
not
do
the
it.
villain at all. It becomes Whitney, and then there's like one of the husbands that
Yeah.
becomes like a major villain. But
Yeah.
it's just funny to like see that.
And so they were like doing fine. And then Demi was pretty messy. Demi's like, I brought
We're gonna
us-
play a game.
We're gonna play a game. I brought us a truth box. You have to write down 3 like questions each
Yeah.
for people in this group, and we're gonna like pull them out and like you have to answer them honestly. And so it's just so messy. And one was like, because Layla is the only one that's single at
Yeah.
this point. Oh, it was like, whose husband
Yeah.
would you want to be with out of everyone in the group? Which is messy. I think it tried to be more messy, but
Yeah.
she picked Demi's, and Demi is like super chill. So I think
Yeah.
it ended really well.
Yeah.
And then I loved the one where it was like, Whitney, why are you so jealous?
Oh my god,
Of
I know.
Taylor?
Some of
Are
them
you,
were
like, jealous of
so
her clout?
pointed.
I was like-
It wasn't like, yeah, it was so pointed. Yeah.
And that one was so dumb
Yeah.
because Whitney didn't really answer it
No.
because it was like, why do you hate Taylor? And she was like, oh, like me and Taylor aren't friends, but
Mm-hmm.
like when I posted the video of my kid having RSV in the
Oh my
hospital,
God. That's when I learned. That's when I was like,
it's her.
it's her.
It's her.
It made it so much better that it was her.
It did. It made it
I was
so
like,
much better.
You deserved all of the hate. That
I
you
think
got.
she just wanted to bring it up so she could have a platform
Yeah.
to talk about why she posted the video.
Yeah. To kind of.
She was like,
backtrack.
he was doing better.
I just wanted to bring some joy
And
into
like
the.
we were in the hospital, and I thought to lighten the mood, I would dance in front of my child who was sick with RSV in the hospital.
Yeah.
And like she got so much backlash on that
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
But the nerve for her to say, I'm still like getting like death threats because
Yeah.
of that video, and the world forgave Taylor so fast.
I-
And Taylor cuts to Taylor being
No.
like, I don't know what she's
I
looking at.
loved Taylor's
Loved it.
confessional because she was like, I don't know what world she thinks I'm not getting hate
Yeah.
still.
She's like, she's definitely not looking at my comments, and she
Yeah.
thinks no one still cares.
Yeah, that was such a general, like a false generalization that I was like,
So
Whitney,
dumb.
shut up.
I'm like, Whitney, you are not the victim
Taylor's
here.
just handling it
Yeah.
different than you.
You like are also saying you're still standing behind the video, defending
Yeah.
why you posted it.
Yeah.
Taylor will be the first to say, I messed
up. I was messy. I shouldn't have done that.
Screwed up.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't stand.
Whitney just can never be wrong.
No,
and that is, I think,
her.
my number one thing that I just dislike in people when they're never wrong. I'm like, there's no point in me even having a conversation with you.
There's none
about anything.
And so then I feel like that was the juiciest one, and really, to be honest, the only one I cared that much about.
Yeah.
During that truth game.
No, there was one where I think Demi got eaten alive.
Oh my gosh, she did.
And I was like,
totally
whoa. She it kind of came out of nowhere because Whitney tried to spin.
Yes.
What was it?
It was the fact that, I don't know if the question was originally directed towards Whitney, and then Whitney said, well, Demi, you just said that Jen is like so Mormon and she'll never stop talking about it. She's too Mormon. And then then Jen was like so mad to hear that because her and Demi are close. And then Jen was like, oh, is that the same conversation where you called Taylor white trash? And both actually came out because Whitney told Jen.
Yes, Whitney's the imposter.
Whitney told Jen that Demi said that. And Demi was like, I didn't say it that like rudely. She was just like, sometimes like you talk a lot about you being so Mormon,
you always
and it
bring it
kind
up.
of makes us feel bad.
Yeah.
You kind of say it in a way that almost makes us feel bad that we're not as Mormon as you, which in my mind totally made sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whitney framed it in a way of like, you're too Mormon, we don't like being around you, which was not the case because obviously they're still hanging out with her. It's always Whitney.
It grinds my gears. Whitney is going around telling things that everyone else is saying about each other just to like stir the pot.
Yes.
We've all been in a position where we've said something that maybe we didn't mean to the full extent. Not to say that it corrects it or anything, but she's airing out everyone's dirty laundry.
Airing it out. And then whenever it goes back to her, she's like, whoa. Me? Like,
I'm not the one who said it.
Like,
but you're the one who's telling
you guys
everybody.
are being so mean to me. And I'm like, girl, if you're going to spread it, stand on the hill. If you're going to say it, you got to stand by it. I felt bad only when then it got spinned to Demi calling Taylor white trash.
Yeah.
Because I do think Taylor had every right to be upset about it.
Yeah, 100%.
However,
it was also
the backlash Demi got, I thought, was not called for.
No, I think it's the time. Like, it was a previous conversation. It wasn't super recent.
No,
it was like, not to justify anything, because I don't think like it should have been said. Yeah, but it's just I just felt like Whitney wasn't getting like Demi was getting all of the backlash, and I just want to be like, okay, but Whitney's also the one spreading all of like these previous conversations. Like, she's like taking notes of any mean thing you've ever said and bringing it up months later. I just think that's so rude too.
I agree. And I think being called white trash for Taylor was like a major raw spot. Yeah. Especially by Demi, because they were close. Yeah. But then when Demi was like, this is why, kind of had in my mind, a good reason to call her. I mean, one thing after another, Taylor wasn't looking great. Yeah. But then for Taylor to spin it around and be like, oh, do you think it was appropriate that you did this, this, and this? And then I loved how Demi stood on what she did. And she was like, context matters. Totally. Like, I was getting mic'd. I wasn't just like being flirtatious with your boyfriend. I had to get mic'd. Like, we were in a hurry to get mic'd and get on the show. So like, I wasn't trying to flirt with your boyfriend. Yeah. Because Taylor basically, was just like, well, do you think it's okay and like trashy of you to like like get mic'd up in front of my boyfriend and like take your top off? And she's like, whoa. Let's back
it's just
like pedal in here. I was not doing that.
As much as I like some of these, like all of these girls, they keep a tally.
They do
everything 100%. That annoy, and like they might not use it for a while, but they'll pull it out when like they're in this major fight, just to like throw the heat on somebody. Like it's just like passing the baton. Like, they're just trying to get the heat off of them. Yeah. So they'll pull out their little notebook and be like, oh, but you did this one time, and you did this, and yada yada yada. Just all the drama.
I think Demi is just the best and most well spoken when it comes to the conflicts. Because I think the whole context matters, and the way that she was able to verbalize a lot of it was very impressive to me. And she like left it
Yeah.
And was then able to go to Taylor one-on-one, and they completely talked it out, and they ended on great terms.
And that's what should be done.
Exactly.
Like, when there's issues, like if you say something that you didn't mean in that, you know, in the context that it got spilled, like just go to that person one-on-one and like figure it out. You don't need to like air it out in front of everybody else.
Yeah. So then after the game, they were able to make up. Whitney still at odds with the world. And then
she won't accept any responsibility.
No. And then the next day, I think this was my favorite part, was Taylor was like, Whitney, we're going to talk because you've been avoiding me for like weeks now.
And girls like Whitney, they don't like the one-on-one conflict because they will be called out.
Yeah.
And it's like the goal is to find peace.
Absolutely.
So like a girl like Taylor is like, all right, like
let's
talk it out. And girls like Whitney, it's like, no, they have to hide behind this little sea of lies that they've spread, and they can't face it.
And so Taylor was like, I'm gonna go get ready. And then Whitney was like, okay, have fun. She's like, no, you're coming with me.
We're talking.
And I loved it. And she was like, so I invited you to my my baby shower. You didn't come, didn't tell me. I thought we were good. I've now heard from everybody else, we are not good.
We're not friends.
And you've been saying this, and this all behind my back. And like, I just want to know, like, what's up?
She's like, I just want to know, like, why aren't we good?
Like, are we not friends?
What did I do to upset you? Super valid.
And then Whitney's like, well, we're not friends. And I have said all of these awful things about you to everyone else. And Taylor was like, why wouldn't you have come to me? She's like, because we're not friends and I didn't want to come to you. Taylor's
she
like,
said something like that pissed me off. She was like, I just like don't care enough to have the conversation with you. And I was like,
exactly what she said.
I was like, no. If you don't care enough to have the conversation with her, then you don't need to be talking about her. Get her name out your mouth. If you don't care enough.
And so she just like stood on that too.
Yeah.
Taylor was like, so I just like don't think then you should be talking about me. She's like, well, I'll do whatever I want.
She's like, I'm not sorry. I don't regret anything.
I don't regret anything that I've said. And I'm like,
you can't have a conversation with her. It's so dumb.
Stupid. And so, yeah, I just can't understand in her mind, if you're going to say all these negative things about someone and they confront you with it, you have to be ready to talk it out and like defend either what you're saying or like you can't,
or apologize.
Yeah, you can't go out and just say all these blatant
I'm
lies about me.
Like, I think I'm right because and whatever. Give your reasons, or you're right, I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's as easy as that.
Yeah, I just like I can't.
She's just blank face is just like, I don't care enough to have the conversation with you, and I don't regret anything, and I'm not sorry. I just want to be like, oh my gosh, so, how do you have a conversation with someone like that?
Yeah, I feel like at that point, I'd be like, are you gonna then like keep talking about
me,
my dating situation?
Yeah,
the swinger thing that happened
like,
at this
shut
point
up
a
about
year
it.
and a half ago. Like, I've apologized. I'm an idiot. I know.
Yeah.
But you're gonna still just like be airing it all out. Like, I don't understand.
But not try to progress in any type of way with me.
And then also we still have mutual friends. Yeah. And you're still just gonna talk about
and
me
also,
to all of them.
We're still in Mom Talk creating content for money together.
And so they're like having this conversation, and Demi like sitting down there.
Yeah.
And Demi's like, I don't know why Taylor's being so nice to her. And she's like, she goes up the stairs, and I'm like, absolutely. Get it, Demi. I love her. And she's like, no, Whitney, because here's the thing. Yeah. Like, you're going to sit here and just like not take ownership for anything that you've said.
Yeah.
And basically you're going to just keep saying all these awful things and kind of just like aired out all of Whitney's laundry in the sense of like Taylor was being really nice about it.
Yeah.
And
because again, Taylor's not the villain.
No, because Taylor's just like, I'm 35 weeks pregnant. Like, I can't be even like processing half of what you're saying to me.
And she's like having all this drama with her boy. Like, she just is having a lot on her plate. She's like, I don't want drama here.
She's like, I'm honestly just talking to you to see if you're gonna stop talking about
Please,
me.
I don't want the drama.
And if you're mad at me, I want to like make sure we're good.
Yeah.
And Whitney's like, I am mad at you, I hate you, and I have no desire for us to make up.
Yeah.
And Taylor's like, okay.
I don't know where to go from there.
But then Demi's like, no, I want you to feel terrible, Whitney. But she should. And so then Whitney's like, well, like, I just like,
I can't do this.
Goes in the closet, cries. And then like Macy and another girl are going in there and like comforting her. Mm-hmm. And Demi's like, no, like, I'm not doing this. And she goes into the closet. She's like, I don't even know why you're crying. Like, you're the one doing this. You're going to bring up all of this stuff. And when we confront you about it, you're going to go off and cry and say we're attacking you. Like, you have to stand on what you said.
Demi was like, I got eaten alive last night. And look at me, I'm still here, like standing behind what I'm saying. You need to do the same.
Precisely.
Stop hiding in the closet,
crying. Fake crying.
Literally,
I don't even see those tears.
literally.
Where are those tears?
She's like, no, if you're gonna come at me and attack me like that, then I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah.
And I agree.
I 100% agreed. I was like, yeah, Whitney is the villain, and if you're not gonna stand by what you said, then get out.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny, like when I don't know if you've ever been in like an argument with a friend where like some people storm off and you just end up in like the most random places. Like half of them are like in the closet.
Yeah.
They're like in the bathroom. There's girls out in the room. Which just
They're like, what's going on?
It made me laugh because I was like, oh my God.
Whitney's sitting on the closet floor. Yeah. And then Demi's just standing in the bathroom that connects and is just like,
the other girls are like on in the doorway, like just everyone's trying to be apart, but like, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I feel like so much of this I can't understand because I'm pretty confrontational.
Yeah.
So I think I would definitely be the Demi
yeah.
in this situation or Taylor, where I would just be like, this is what I've heard. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do about it? And anyone that like gets up in the middle and storms off, I'm pretty much done at that point because I'm like, I usually won't even let the person storm off though, because I'm like, I can't not have the resolution in my brain, which is probably unfair. But I'll be like, no, like where are we ending? What are we gonna do about this?
Yeah.
So if some girl was like, I don't want to be your friend and I want nothing to do with you, but I am gonna still talk behind your back, I personally think I might hit someone. I would come
I don't
unglued.
know what I would have to think on that response. I'd be like, at least I'll give her one thing. She does kind of make it hard to argue with her. Like she kind of shuts you like.
You're like, what
you're
do
just
you
like,
do?
I don't know what to say to that. Like, okay.
I think, I would just like boil up so angry that she would keep talking about me and there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
I would lose it. So
At
the end of that episode, we basically hate Whitney still.
Yeah.
And
she's just digging a deeper grave.
She's still the worst.
Yeah.
And we love Taylor and we love Demi. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is kind of there right now.
Yeah.
At this point, middle of the road.
Yeah.
So we'll cover the last 3 episodes
next time.